Hello everyone. Let us continue our topic for the previous year question practice. Like in the previous video, we was discussing about the previous year question of biotechnology as well as human health and disease. We have seen body fluid and circulation questions we have practiced. Okay, and rather we have seen about the excretory product and their elimination. So now let us continue the same in the same pathway from the locomotion and the movement as well as the neural control and coordination together. So approx like 20 questions we are going to solve here from both the chapters, like 10 questions each. Okay, 10 questions each, 10 PYQ each from each chapter. Okay, so let us start with a good spirit. Let's see the question number first here. This is the question number first, as it is mentioned the fourth, but it is actually the question number first. So here the question number first is saying match the following column and select the correct option. We have to find out the correct option. Okay, we knows very well the floating ribs are actually the ribs which is the last pair of the ribs, that is the 11th and the 12th pair, right? 11th and the 12th pair of the ribs are actually the floating ribs. Acromion process is into the scapula, which is the part of the pectoral girdle, and scapula again triangular shaped bone, again it is a part of the pectoral girdle, okay, and glenoid cavity, which is the again the part of the pectoral girdle, as well as it is into the attachment with the humerus bone. Okay, with the humerus bone. So here let us match these terms from the column second. The floating ribs are actually 11th and 12th pair. So we know that they do not connect with the sternum, which is a flat bone. Okay, sternum, our ventral flat bone. From the floating ribs it is not connected. Okay, so we will go with the A, match with the fourth. A will match with the fourth in the option number third only. This is option number 1, 2, 3 and 4. We will go with the fourth option, third option. Okay, let's match some other also. B is actually acromion. Acromion, as I told you, the acromion is the part of the scapula which is in the attachment with the clavicle bone. So let me explain you the structure of the scapula first so you can understand better. This would be the structure like this, and here is a glenoid cavity into the scapula bone. This is a triangular shaped scapula bone which is having a cavity like this for the attachment with the humerus bone. Okay, this would be the humerus bone. Okay, and here the two depression are there, or we can say two upper hook like structure is there, which is known as the coracoid process. It is the coracoid process as well as the acromion process. Second word is the acromion process. Acromion process is actually in the connection with the clavicle bone. It would be in the connection with the clavicle bone. I am showing you the roughly diagram. It is not the exact one, but it is just like for the idea you can get. It is a clavicle or the collar bone. Okay, so we can say the attachment of the clavicle with the scapula bone with the help of the acromion process, and attachment of the humerus with the scapula is with the help of the glenoid cavity. This is the glenoid cavity. Okay, and this togetherly are known as a pectoral girdle. This is the pectoral girdle, one side, whether it is left or the right side. If we will consider it to the left side, so in the left scapula, left side is having the glenoid cavity and right side is having the clavicle. In the right scapula, right side would be the glenoid cavity and left side would be the clavicle bone attachment, means the acromion process. Okay, I hope this would be clear. Now let us match these terms. Scapula is what? It is a triangular shaped bone, as we know. So it would be attaching located between the second and the seventh rib. It is actually in between the second and seventh rib. Okay, that is the location of the scapula. Okay, triangular shaped bone, and location is this one only. So we will go C with the first one. And acromion process, very well we have seen, it is attached with the clavicle bone, so this is the B. And the glenoid cavity, it is attached with the humerus, that is a D. Okay, so D would be matched with the 2, D2 here. So I hope this question number first is very well clear to you. Now let us see the next question number second. Question number second here, that again that same type of the question, but it has come into the NEET 2021. Okay, so here it is a scapula, cranium, as well as a sternum, vertebral column. Vertebral column you knows very well, vertebral bones. Cranium is our fibrous joints are there, in which no movement is there, so we can match the cranium very well with the fibrous bone, right? So here cranium, which is the fibrous joints, that is no movement. Here would be no movement. Okay, and flat bone is what? It is the sternum. It is a sternum from which ribs are attached. Which ribs? Actually the true ribs are attached with it. Okay, true ribs are attached with it. And cartilaginous joints, we knows very well that it is actually with the vertebral column. It is present into the vertebral bones. So it would be the vertebral bones. Okay, or the vertebral column. So let us see that scapula we have seen, in which scapula is a triangular flat bone. It is a A. Okay, it is the A matching. Second is the cranium. Cranium is what? It will having no movement bone, so that is the B. Okay, and sternum is a flat bone, that is a C, and vertebral is a D. So it is all matching given in the option number first. Now let's see the next question, that is a question number third. Select the correct option. We have to find out the correct option. 8th, 9th and the 10th pair of the ribs are articulate directly with the sternum. Actually these are the pair of the false ribs. And why they are false? Because they are not attached or articulate with the sternum. That is why they are false to sternum. Okay, so because of that we can say this option number first is actually incorrect. Okay, now the next is the 11th and the 12th pair, which is actually the floating ribs. Floating ribs, last pair of the ribs, which is a floating rib, which will attach to the vertebral column but not attached to the sternum. Ribs are connected to the sternum, they are saying, are already wrong, which we have seen it is not attached to the sternum, that is why they are the floating ribs, so it is incorrect. Each ribs, option number third is that is each ribs is a flat thin bone, and all the ribs are connected dorsally to the thoracic vertebra and ventrally to the sternum. So it is again wrong. Each ribs, they are saying it is a flat thin bone and all the ribs are connected dorsally. Not all the correct ribs. Some are true ribs which is attached directly to the sternum. Some are false ribs which are not directly connected to the sternum but actually will connect with the true ribs, like 8th, 9th and the 10th ribs, which will attach with the true ribs, and the true ribs is attached with the sternum. And two pair, that is 11th and 12th pair, which is the floating ribs. Okay, this is the floating ribs. So here it is again incorrect. Fourth option is they are the 7th pair of the vertebrosternal, that is a true ribs. Vertebrosternal is actually the name of the true ribs. 3 pair means 8th, 9th, 10th, that is a vertebrochondral, means false ribs. And the 2 pair of the vertebral ribs, that is the floating ribs, right? So this is absolutely differentiating all the 3 pair of the ribs. So option number 4th would be the correct answer. Now let us see the next question here, question number 4th. Okay, question number 4th is that out of the X pair of the ribs in the humans, only the Y pair are the true ribs. X pair of the ribs means total number of the ribs are there. Total pair means they are asking for the pair of the ribs. So we can say here the total pair of the ribs. Pair of ribs, that we know is 12 pair, and total number of the ribs are these are actually the total, just we can make it double, that is a 24. Okay, so here they are saying that from the 24 actually how many are true, how many are false, and how many are floating. 7 pair are the true ribs and 3 pair are the false ribs, and the 2 pair are the floating ribs, right? So these are actually the total number of the ribs we have seen. So here they are asking for the total pair. So total pair are 12. These two will be eliminated, and so from the total number of the ribs, why they are asking that only other 2 ribs? How many other 2 ribs? 7 pair, right? So we will go with the first option. Okay, and these 2 ribs are attached dorsally to the vertebral column and ventrally to the sternum. So that is why it is correct. Okay, it has asked into the NEET 2070. Okay, just focus on this type of the question you can get in the final exam. Okay, next question is that correct statement regarding the specific disorder of the muscular or the skeletal system, AIPMT 2012. So here they are saying for the myasthenia gravis, muscular dystrophy, gout. So let us see that these are actually the disorder which is given in our NCERT of this locomotion chapter. Okay, so we should know about some important terms, that is a myasthenia gravis, which is a autoimmune disorder. Okay, then next is muscular dystrophin. These terms you should know, which I am going to show you, because some are not in the NCERT, but even we should know. Okay, because it is too much related to this chapter. Muscular dystrophin is what? It is a genetic disorder. Okay, it is a genetic disorder in which what is happening in this disorder, what is happening, actually a very important protein named as a dystrophin protein, which is a big protein. Actually it is a big protein which this protein is not able to synthesize, not formed or not synthesize. Okay, so because of that muscle contraction will not be there, no proper muscle contraction. Okay, so because of that we can say it is affecting the sliding filament theory. Now the third, we have seen the tetany, everyone knows about it. From the low calcium concentration it is causing, then only no muscle contraction would be there. Okay, so continuously if the muscle will become rigid, so we can say it could be the tetany. Then one we have seen like sprain and the strain. Remaining other I am not taking, it is because it is given in the NCERT. Tetany also given, muscular dystrophin not given, so I have shown you here. Okay, one more, the difference you should know is sprain and the strain. If you know, then well and good. If you don't know, then you can note it. Sprain and the strain, they both are actually the twisting of the joint pain. These both are the twisting of joint pain. Twisting of the joints which will cause the pain. Okay, so because of this, without dislocation is there, then it would be the sprain. Without dislocation, no dislocating. Okay, so it will be the sprain. If it is strain, so in that case that would be not severe, less severe than the sprain. Okay, that is only the major difference. Rest of the things are same into the both. Okay, that is the twisting of the joints. Okay, now let's see the options what they are asking. We have to find out actually the correct statement. So to find out the correct one, we should know which is correct. So myasthenia gravis, as I told you, it is the autoimmune disorder, but they are saying which inhibit the sliding of the myosin filament. It is autoimmune disorder. In this, antibodies are actually not recognizing between the self and the non-self cells. It is not able to recognize. So this property of the antibody is lost. Okay, so it is attacking its own cells. It is recognizing its own cells as an antigen. So that is what happening into the myasthenia gravis. In the gout, they are saying inflammation of the joint due to the extra deposition of the calcium. Not because of this, because of the uric acid we have seen in the gout, right? Because of the uric acid. So it is also incorrect. Muscular dystrophy is the age-related shortening of the muscles. Muscular dystrophy I showed you here. It is genetic disorder because of the dystrophin protein. It is not age related, it is actually the genetic disorder. It is a genetic disorder, so it is also incorrect. Osteoporosis I have not shown there. Next fifth one, you can note it from here, that osteoporosis is decrease in the bone mass and higher chances of the fracture with the advancing age. We can say in the osteoporosis actually the estrogen level is low. Because of the low estrogen level, actually into the females who are facing the menopause, in them estrogen level will be low. Because of that, bone mass will become very low. Okay, so because of that, it would be the correct answer. Fourth one would be the correctly explaining in this one. Okay, now question number 6 is sliding filament theory can be best explained as, among these four, which one is explaining best about the sliding filament theory? Okay, let's see. When the myofilaments slide past each other, margin filaments shorten, and while the actin filament do not short. Both will become short and the long, not like only one would be short or the long. Second is, when myofilaments slide past each other, actin filaments shorten, while the margin filament do not short. Again the same thing they are saying. Okay, so just in the vice versa process they are saying, but actually both will be short or long. Actually in case of the actin and the myosin, they both will not shorten, but actually they are changing the position, they are rubbing over each other. Okay, so because of that we can say they both are wrong. Actin and the myosin filament shorten and the slide past each other, not shorten. It should not short, they are actually not shortening, they are just rubbing with each other. Okay, so this is again wrong. Actin and the myosin filament do not short, this is correct, but rather pass each other or rubbing each other, that is absolutely correct. Now let's see the question number 7th, that is, which one of the following pair of the structure correctly matched with their correct description? The tibia, fibula, cartilage and the cornea. Don't trust on this tick. Okay, so tibia and fibula we have seen into the pelvic bones, right? And cartilage and cornea would be the part of the eye. Cartilage we have seen the part of the bone and the cartilage. Shoulder joint and the elbow, premolar and the molar, these are the part of the teeth. Okay, so now let us see that what part they are asking, which is the correctly matched. Tibia and fibula bone form the part of the knee joint, not the joints. It is a part of the leg bone or the pelvic bone. These are the part of the pelvic bone, so it is incorrect. Second is the cartilage and the cornea, no blood supply but do require the oxygen for the respiratory need. Absolutely correct. Cornea is the area where the no blood supply would be there into the eye. That is absolutely correct. Shoulder and the elbow joint, we have seen the hinge joint in the elbow. Okay, and in hinge into the elbow, as well as into the pectoral. Shoulder means pectoral girdle. Just now we have seen in the first question. Okay, so that is a shoulder joint. So because of that it is also incorrect. They are saying ball and socket joint. Fourth is a 20 and 3 rooted. Absolutely incorrect. Okay, now let's see the question number 8. Very important question. Like this question you can get. I will show you with how to solve this type of the question. They are asking what is common between the muscle fiber of the extensor muscles of the human back and those of the flight muscles of the birds. Means in the birds and the humans. We know we are human, we are having the two type of the muscles, right? We are having two type of the muscles, slow twitch muscle or the fast twitch muscle. Slow twitch or the fast twitch. Okay, slow twitch is also known as the red muscle or the red fibers, while the fast twitch muscle is also known as the white muscle fiber. Okay, so based on this information, let us see what is the basic difference between the two. In the red muscle fiber, sarcoplasmic reticulum would be low, and the other things like the mitochondria and like the myoglobulin, hemoglobin and myoglobin, these all are actually high. Everything would be high in the red muscle fiber, but only the SR would be low, sarcoplasmic reticulum would be low. But into the white muscle fiber or the fast twitch muscle, they are having very high sarcoplasmic reticulum, and the mitochondria is low, hemoglobin is low, myoglobin is low. Rest of the thing would be low into these muscles. So red muscle fiber are actually aerobic muscles because they are using the oxygen, and these are actually the anaerobic muscle. Okay, so based on this information we can guess the question now, because here they are saying thin, thick, red or light, mitochondria, sarcoplasmic reticulum. So from this you can understand that actually they are asking for the difference between these two, slow and the fast twitch muscles, or the red or the white muscle fiber. So in the first one they are saying they are the thinner and the red colored. They would be thin, okay, but they are the red in the color because of the presence of the hemoglobin. Okay, so because of that we can say this would be the correct one. This is correct, which is present into the human bag. Okay, they are asking that to remain into the flight for the long period of the time, means after getting the relaxation, then only they are also using. We can say if the flight, at the time of the flight they are using the muscle, so after the flighting, whenever they are in the resting position, at that time also they are working. So means they are actually the slow twitch, which will move in the very long period, but it will remain in contraction for long time also. That is why it is a slow twitch muscle. Why it is slow? Because it will contract in long time, but it will contract for long period. Okay, so because of that, so first is correct. Second is that they are thicker. It is not thicker, and it is not light in the color. B should not be there. They are abundant mitochondria, absolutely we have seen. They are actually asking for the red muscle fiber, right? Because they have, which remain flight for the long period of the time, means for long contraction or long twitch, long time contraction, right? So because of that it is actually asking for the slow twitch but for long time, red muscles. So that is why the third option would be the correct. They have well developed sarcoplasmic reticulum. No, sarcoplasmic reticulum is actually low. SR would be low in them, and they show the slow rate of the contraction for the long period. That is absolutely correct, for the long period. And they show the fast steranous activity. This is absolutely wrong. It is fast would be, we have seen into the white muscle fiber, right, into the fast twitch muscles. So it is a property of the white. They do not get fatigue earlier because they are twitching for the long time, is that is why they are not getting fatigue earlier. They are getting fatigue early quickly. That is the property of the white muscle fiber. So what we have to choose? We have to choose the correct one, which is relatable to the red muscle fiber. So the A should be there, and C should be there, and D should not be there. E should be there, okay, and G should be there. A, C, E, G. Okay, A, C, E, G given in the first option. That is the option number first, the second, and then the third and the fourth. So we should go with the first option only. I hope this much big question would be clear to you, but actually it is very important for your exam, final exam. Okay, now question number 9 is there. Select the correct matching of the type of the joints with their example of the human skeletal system. It is not typical. You can do it very easily if you have studied about the joint, pivot, hinge, gliding. So it would be like we have to find out the correct matching. Okay, cartilaginous in the frontal and the parietal, we have seen in them fibrous joint. We have seen fibrous joint, so it is incorrect. Pivot joint means between the third and the fourth cervical, absolutely wrong. Okay, hinge joint between the humerus and the pectoral girdle, that is the girdle, not the hinge. Hinge we have seen into the elbow or the knee joint, elbow or the knee joint, so it is also incorrect. Okay, and then gliding joint between the carpus, absolutely correct. In the carpal only we have seen. Fourth option would be the correct one. Now let's see question number 10. That is, which one of the following is correct pairing of the body parts and the kind of the muscle tissues that move it. Okay, so here the smooth muscle, involuntary and the voluntary muscles, these they have given. So let's see biceps of the upper arm. They are showing smooth muscles. It is not correct. It is not the smooth muscles. First of all, abdominal wall, it is actually not the smooth muscles. It is actually voluntary muscles. Smooth muscles are actually involuntary, right? Smooth muscles are involuntary, while the abdominal muscles are voluntary. So again it is incorrect matching. Okay, so iris is involuntary muscles, absolutely correct. In the iris we cannot control, it is actually the smooth or the involuntary muscles. Okay, so it would be correct. And heart muscles, they are saying involuntary but unstriated. Involuntary, okay, but it is not unstriated, so that is why it is also incorrect. Clear? Now let's see for the next chapter, that is the neural control and the coordination. Neural control and coordination. We will continue the same topic into the next part of the same video. Okay, see you in the next vlog.